Hey there, I'm Skip Slusher and this is Bugsy. And there's a warm up procedure, I guess, that I do every ride, and it helps balance your horse. And it really lets them know what level of release you're going to do, how quickly you're going to release, how much you're going to add pressure. And it puts them in a spot where it stretches their hind end and it makes them roll that hip under and actually raise their back just a little. Again, everything I work on is towards balanced horses that have self-carriage. So the first element is going to be bouncing your hand just lightly to get his nose. He'll put slack in the rein because he's learned that if he goes there, he finds release. So he's hunting release on his own. So I'm not going to pull. He'll resist that. I'm just going to give him a slight little bounce. The top of the bounce is where you have contact. The bottom of the bounce is the release. And the reason you do that is it never gives him a solid thing to push against. They'll push against anything that you hold. So I'm just going to bounce, let him get his nose. The next element is let me turn him. I'm going to slide my leg back to his midsection to bend his ribs. It's just slightly, I start slightly behind his shoulder, and we're going to actually cue him back here behind where you normally ask for his shoulders to move. And the goal of this is to flex his head, bend the ribs, and this inside hind foot will reach towards that outside front foot. So there's a forward and under motion to this. So there's his head. And I do it 100 times per turn to get those ribs. And the slide gives them a warning that, hey, we're going to go bend your ribs. Eventually, you can just go to that spot. And look at that left hind, and it should be reaching towards that right front. So he should be reaching kind of diagonally with that hind foot. This also will let you know if your horse is stiff and needs some stretching or kind of where they are. So now I'm just going to use my seat to stop them, back them a step, and we're going to go the other way. Flex his head, begin the slide on the inside till I get the rib, and his body is bent. And again, this right hind should be reaching up and under toward that left front. And I can tell this guy's been pretty stiff, and he's pretty soft today. Then I'll let him out for a second, just take a little breather, and we'll go right back in. Get the nose, get the rib. And that bend really warms him up. Now, hopefully, you saw, as he reached, his hip angle had to change a little bit. He could not be inverted. He couldn't have head up and tail up. He had to come under to reach over. And that's the point of this whole thing. So you want him to roll under, reach this way, and it kind of follows in line with the back up with no reins. It is the same kind of goal of getting a balanced horse that's prepped for good stops, self-carriage, and collection later. So give that a shot. It's not rocket science, not this difficult thing to do, but it pays dividends like you can't believe.